Hi, we're back. Continuing with our Microsoft Office products, we are doing Microsoft Word. We are on page 91 of your book, and we're going to get started with our assignment. On page 91, we have our Word document open. Go ahead and open up a Word if you haven't done so. Now, number 2 tells us to open up this 10 press file. We're not going to do that. We're going to type this letter and then make the corrections as needed. So let us begin. Let's move to number 3, and it tells us how to save our file. So let's go to the Office button, Save As, Word Document, and the most important step right here will be to change to our desktop. And let's follow the directions in number 3, and we're going to name it 10 press underscore our initials. Good, let's begin. We have it saved. To start out with, we're going to use illustration A. And looking on illustration A on page 91, we're going to hit the Enter key 4 times. But before we do that, please go to your paragraph and click on that little box right there. And let's check our line spacing. As you can see, my line spacing is 10 point after. Let's change that to 0 and then change our line spacing to single. Please make sure you take care of this so your document will look like mine. And actually, I'm going to make it the default so this will always appear and I don't have to do this every single time. And it asks me if I do want to make this the default, and I do. Good, let's hit the Enter key 4 times. 4. And we're going to put this text in bold, but I'm just going to go ahead and type it first. And I'm supposed to capitalize all those letters, and I'll go ahead and make that fixed. And while I have it highlighted, I'm going to put it in bold. And after this, I'm going to hit the Enter key 2 times, just like the directions tell me. Be sure to turn your bold off, or your next line will be bold. And then we're going to type in the word contact. And our spacing from contact to student name and phone number, it says left tab set at 1 inch. And actually, I'm just going to hit the tab key 2 times, and that's going to line me up. So I'm going to put my name, and you will type your name. Hit the Enter key. Now I'm going to tab over until I get right underneath where I type my name. And I'm just going to put that same phone number in. Done with that, let's continue with the directions. We're going to hit the Enter key 4 times. And I would imagine where it says David Fairmount joins Michigan Avenue Athletic Club, I'm going to go ahead and center that. And it also tells me to put it in italics. So let's center and put it in italics. You can either do Control-I or simply hit this italics in the ribbon. And we're going to do David. And it looks like I misspelled David. And then I'm going to make sure all of these letters are capitalized. I like to do the change case instead of messing with the Shift key. It makes that a lot easier. Good. Be sure to turn your italics off when you're done typing that sentence. And then I'm going to hit the Enter key 2 times. It doesn't say so, but I know that spacing right there. Please return up in the ribbon, please return your line text back to the left and type in that first paragraph exactly as it is, and then we will go back and make those changes in the yellow box. So pause your video, type the first paragraph, and then I'll be back with you. Paragraph 1 complete. Now let's go through and make our corrections. First of all, Chicago, Illinois, they want that to be bold. And I simply did that by highlighting Chicago and Illinois and then either doing Control-B or hitting the B in the ribbon to make it bold. And if we look on page 91, that little red triangle there next to that yellow box tells us we need to insert that sentence right there. So we're going to insert that sentence in the yellow box right in this area. So I've clicked my mouse in between the period and the H, and let us begin. He comma, and he is, nope. So we've inserted, he is also fluent in Spanish and he enjoys mountain biking in his spare time. I'm going to hit the space bar one more time. Then I'm going to take my mouse and click it after this last sentence where health is. I'm going to hit the enter key 2 times. And then we're going to type that next paragraph, and then we'll make our corrections. So please type it as is, and then we'll go back and make different corrections. Welcome back. We're looking at the second paragraph, and we see some red lines. And I'm going to flip back over to 88 to see what those symbols are for. And if I look on page 88 at the bottom there, I see some common proofreader's marks. And I see some squiggly lines, and it tells me a triangle. But here's that little line with a curly Q on it. And it says it indicates text to be deleted. And if I look back in my paragraph, I notice that same red squiggly line, or that straight line with a curly Q on it, under conveniently. So I'm going to double click on conveniently. It highlights it, and I'm just going to simply hit the delete key and make that disappear. And then if I continue on, I see that line with the curly Q for multiple. They're going to get rid of that, but then there's a triangle underneath it, and it tells me to enter the word 5. So find multiple and then double click on it. Multiple. And we're just going to, I double clicked and I'm just going to simply type FIVE, and you notice it makes that correction for me. Then I see a triangle again between lessons and we, so I click right before the W, and then I'm going to type that sentence in the yellow box. I'm going to go back, let's see, gatherings, make that correction, and I've made all my proof red marks there. Then I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to click after the word cafe. I'm going to hit the enter key 2 times, and I'm going to type this last little section right here at the bottom. If you would pause the video, and then we'll make our corrections together. Alright, welcome back. We've finished the last paragraph, and let's make our corrections. This last paragraph, I see a triangle underneath call, and we're going to double click on the word call, and we're going to insert what's in that yellow box. So we're going to say contact, put your name at. So we're going to say contact, and then put at, and then we're good to go. My name, for some reason, has a red squiggly line, so I'm going to right click, and I'm actually going to add it to the dictionary. And there's something wrong with that word at, so I'm going to fix that. Now, my web address right here showed up with blue underneath it, and this is telling me that this is an active web link. And in a document, you may not want this line to be underneath, and so what we can do is right-click right here on this web address, and we can say remove hyperlink, and this will get rid of the blue letters and the line underneath, and then it looks much better. And we are finished with the letter on illustration A on page 91, but we're going to add one more thing before we turn this assignment in. And we're actually going to add a clip art picture. So if you would, go to the Insert tab, and in the ribbon find where it says Clip Art, and it should open up this little window for you over here. And yes, we're going to type in the word Michigan. We're going to look for a clip art of Michigan. And maybe we can find a picture of the state to put into our press release. And I'm going to use this blue picture right here. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. I could click and drag it in there, But if I click on this gray up and down arrow and tell it to insert, then it's going to insert my picture in there. Now it's kind of messed up my document, so I'm going to have to fix it a little bit. And these tabs at the top, you have one called Format. It may have come up already, but we want to change the text wrapping of our our clip art, and we actually want it to be through the text. And then we're going to click. So what I've done is I've changed it from text wrapping, changed it to through. And now I'm going to click on the clip art and actually just move it to where I want it to go. And then everything else is going to fix. So I kind of get it out of the way. And then I'm able to position it kind of wherever I want it to go, as long as I'm not in line with any text. So it just kind of gives a good little feel to it. And we're going to add one last thing before we turn it in, and we're going to add something called word art. So at the top in our tabs, go to Insert, and if you go down the ribbon, you will see all the way down here, word art. So click where it says word art, and we're going to keep it pretty simple. We're actually just going to click on this one right here, and if I hover my mouse on it, a name does not come up, but so it's the 4th one down. It says word art. And this little window, this dialog box pops up. And we're going to make a little logo for the MAAC. And if I wanted to change the way my font, I could select any of the fonts I wanted to here. I could change the size. I could make it bold. I could make it italics. But I'm just going to leave it with impact for right now. I'm going to click OK. My word art now appears into my document. I could move it up and down. Unfortunately, I do not think I can move it to the center of the page, but let's try. Let's click on it, go to Home, and Center. Oh, there I am, able to center it that way. But actually, I want to change the way it looks right here. So if you have centered it, double-click on it, and we have our Format ribbon now. And I actually don't like this shape, and so you can change the shape of your word. So if you look at the Word Styles group, you have one that's called Word Shape. Drop that box down. And I actually like this one right here. It's called Deflate Bottom. It's on the second row, far right. And I like the way that looks. And notice these blue squares around the outside. And I'm going to pick this one right in the middle of the C. And my mouse has changed to a left and right arrow. So I'm going to click there and pull it. And then I'm going to keep pulling it until I get it as wide as I want it to go. And I'm going to get it a little bit wider. Oh, too wide. Let's undo. Let's see how close I can get to the state of Michigan. Nope. So we're going to have to go right there. So see how close you can get without messing up with your state of Michigan. And we're just going to call that their little logo for now. We may change it again if we find them again. But we are good, and we are done, so let's save him. So we're going to Office button, we're going to save as a Word document. And there we go. As soon as my desktop will show up, we're going to save it to our desktop. And yes, it already exists, so I do want to replace it. And once your document saves, you can close your Word, and please turn this into your Google Classroom. Look forward to working with you again. Thank you very much.